Due to the recent amount of emails, both in my YouTube account and my Gmail, I should probably address this. Tite Kubo recently posted on his Twitter that he has a new contract with TV Tokyo and that the Bleach anime will be returning on March 22nd. Of course, this is supplemented by information from absolutely nowhere. The only piece of information that we have that the Bleach anime will be returning is via Tite Kubo's Twitter. That is it. Okay? I am aware of that. A lot of people have asked me to make a video on it, and I just thought, well, I mean, like, I can't really make a video just based off of a Twitter post. So, you know, if somebody has information, you know, solid information, because over the past year, there has been so much, I mean, so much speculation. It's coming back in October, it's coming back in December. This source posted it's coming back in January. This is probably the most solid of them all, because it's actually coming from the creator. But at the same time, you know, I can't even read the tweet itself. I have to go by translations because I'm not Japanese. But, yeah, I just wanted to address that really quickly because I get probably like at least 1 or 2 messages in somewhere every single day regarding it. So, I mean, if it comes back, that's great, that's solid, but we don't have much information on it so far. So, there you go. Thank you. That was my introduction. I was supposed to do funny things this week, and, you know, I had something amazingly planned. I was going to do a Harlem Shake, but instead, I had to bring you information. So yeah, no Harlem Shake from Tekking101 this week. Intro. Everybody, Tekking101 here to review Bleach chapter number 528 entitled Everything But the Rain. Okay, that sounds a little bit familiar. Yeah, so apparently I did some digging because when you, maybe you guys didn't remember so well, maybe people that just vaguely read manga, but people in my situation that actually review it, I kind of have a tendency to remember chapter titles really well. I don't know why, maybe it's just a side effect of doing this job, but yeah, so I went back and checked, and yeah, this was the title of Bleach chapter 512 that was released last autumn, was called Everything But the Rain. Now, I have seen a few differences in the translation where like some words are capitalized, other words are not, but all in all, these are basically the same chapter titles. Now, I'm not technically mad about this because, you know, the title makes sense in itself, and Kubo is well known for recycling chapter titles again and again and again just by adding, you know, 2 or 3 after it, or adding like a new, like there was like 3 United Fronts, and the last United Front was called United Front, the Discord Mix, or Side B, because, you know, Kubo's a music nut. But I'm not mentioning anything, I'm not bashing anything, I'm just saying, I'm just bringing it to your attention that yes, and if this sounds familiar to another chapter title, it is. Okay, so all in all, this is a pretty short chapter. Basically, Ichigo goes back home. He meets Isshin, who tells him that, yes, Masaki Kurosaki was a Quincy, his mom, which kind of already knew that. And then, actually, that's about it. Wow, that was what, like 3 sentences? My god. Okay, whatever. See you guys! Okay, you know, you might be thinking I did that for comedic effect. I honestly probably could have ended the review there, and you would have just as much information as you would needed to had to. But anyway, I was kind of wrong last chapter where I thought Nehemiah, when he said, you know, you go back to your roots, I didn't think he would meant, like, send him literally back home. I thought he was going to send him, like, back in the in the past, like, thousands of years to witness, like, the first Zanpakuto being created or something that would be able to, he would be able to relate it to what the true meaning of having a Zanpakuto and a Shinigami is, but no, he literally sends him back home. From his perspective, I guess it's, like, instantaneous, like, Nehemiah hits him with that weird Garganta thing, and then he just appears, like, right in front of the Kurosaki clinic. He's in his human body. All his injuries that he apparently succumbed to while in the Houden, they're all gone. He's just sitting there, like, bewildered, like, what the hell just happened? He mentions the fact that he still has his human body, which is interesting because he left his human body all the way back in the Ohara shop. He thinks Ohara's there, but then he remembers that he's in Hueco Mundo right now. And it's upon reading this scene that I really caught up of just how erratic in terms of placement these last chapters have been. Like, in the past year alone, just in, like, this is just in, like, the past 30 chapters. Ichigo has went from World of the Living to Hueco Mundo to Soul Society to, well, stuck in the Garganta, then the Soul Society, then the Spirit Palace, and now back to the World of the Living. So, you know, like an entire arc of Bleach would have just taken Mundo, Soul Society. This is like 30 chapters, and we've been hopping around between these different dimensions. It's kind of distorting. So he realizes Uehara is not there. Instead, Isshin appears out in front of the Kurosaki clinic to welcome him home, but he bolted before he had a chance to talk to him. Because, you know, that would be the obvious thing to do in the situation. So obviously, Nimaya has sent Ichigo back to talk to his dad and talk about, you know, like, hey, what's going on, Mishinigami? Because roots. So, you know, obviously no one would know your roots better than your parents. So, I guess that makes sense. So, with Uehara, Chad, and Orihime being stuck in Mundo and him clearly not wanting to talk to his dad at the moment, the obvious place he would probably go is Uryu's house because he figured out he's a no, goes to Izumi's, which, okay, I like Izumi's character. I really do. In fact, when they showed her in this chapter, I kind of got semi-excited because whenever they introduced Izumi in the Fullbringer arc, I was kind of wondering, where this character's going? There's something hidden behind this character because they make such a big deal, like her relationship with Ichigo and everything. And for a second there, I was thinking like, oh, maybe, like, this is just me being, like, opinionated or whatever, my fanfic theory, but I was thinking maybe Izumi would be, like, in the same boat as Isshin, like, maybe some Shinigami or somebody that's in the world, that's living, just happens to be living in the world of living, kind of like Uehara, kind of like Isshin. This chapter confirms that is not true, but, and she's just a regular human that's just, you know, has a weird relationship with Ichigo, but whatever, you know, and also, like, with her son, I thought, like, okay, they make such a big deal about her and her son's relationship with Ichigo. I'm like, are they going to go anywhere with that? So, I mean, I liked her character when she was introduced, and I liked her in this chapter. It just didn't really, it just seemed kind of tacked on, and it was, like, for no reason. Kubo, like Kubo woke up one day, and he's just like, you know what, I haven't had Izumi in the chapters in a while. Eh, what the hell, I'll figure out a pencil her in somewhere. I kind of like drawing her, whatever. So Ichigo shows up there, and he pretty much sulks and is all depressed about how, oh, I lost my Zanpakuto, toe, and I can't show up in front of my friends because they'll just, like, look down on me, and I can't even face my dad right now, that's why he ran away. And this also got me thinking, like, okay, Ichigo's character is basically kind of two emotions, and basically this is it. I mean, he's either all stern and steadfast, like, oh, I'm not going to let you hurt my friends. That's like the backbone of Ichigo's character right there. It's the most blandest of hero mantras that you could hear in, like, shonen anime, shonen manga. I want to protect my friends, so I'm going to get stronger. I won't let you win, Grimmjow, because I need to protect my friends. That's essentially what Ichigo's, like, first personality trait is. And the second one is, if somebody did, like, if he can't protect them, or if he fails, or if he lets somebody die, he gets really depressed, and he has no faith in his abilities. And that's not even overshooting it, okay? That's like the major focus of a lot of situations. The whole reason why he had to fight Tensa Zangetsu and Hollow Ichigo in the Fake Karakura Town arc in order to master Final Getsu Katencho, the whole reason he had to fight them was because Tensa Zangetsu was trying to snap him out of his sulking. He was like, you know, this is your inner world. It used to be so extravagant, but you worried about everything like a little bitch, so it shrunk down to this little tiny town. I need you to, like, cheer up and, you know, like, actually fight. So that was the whole point with Tensa Zangetsu. I know I'm referencing the Bount arc here, but that pretty much did it better than any other arc, where it showcases after Ichigo loses, after Ichigo realizes his powerlessness, he's really depressed. I know it's only filler, but that still accounts for Ichigo's character even in canon. Oh, what else? Oh yeah, when he lost his powers, that was a huge one. He lost his powers after fighting against Aizen, and he's all depressed, and he doesn't know what to do, and he can't protect his friends. And so yeah, those are basically Ichigo's two personality traits. You know, I was so interested when he was when he appeared in front of Juha, and just how pissed he looked. That was like expressing a whole other emotion that Ichigo really hasn't done before, and I was really ecstatic. And of course, that went absolutely nowhere. But I'm just saying that's Ichigo's character to a T. And you know, he just has to have more faith in himself, pretty much. And like it's not like he's all alone in this. Like, he has other people that can help him out. If I was him, I would just go and talk to my dad. I'm like, hey, Nimaya sent me here for a reason. I'm obviously here because he wants me to learn how to, like, about the Zanpakuto. What can you tell me, Pa? Lay some wisdom on me, huh? So for the next couple of pages, Ichigo and Izumi basically just have a whole back and forth about how, like, they have, like, a pseudo brother-sister relationship.
I need an adult. I am an adult.
Which is funnier because she is supposed to be his boss, and Ichigo even says at one point, it's like, yeah, boss, sorry I haven't been to work in like a couple weeks, and she's just like, oh, it's okay, whatever, I'm like your big sis. You know what? Joking aside, that is honestly extremely close to my relationship with my boss. I mean, really, can you imagine me in a workplace setting Anybody that has to watch me in terms of management would have to have an interesting personality trait, because I'm freaking erratic half the time at work. Anyway, a knock comes at the door. Izumi opens it to find out that there's nobody there. And in fact, it's Isshin, who's in his Shinigami form, who walks in front of Ichigo. Ichigo, I guess Izumi's in the chapter to kind of snap Ichigo out of the depression, you know, to figure out, it's like, hey, you know, you can rely on other people. It's not just all on you, you know. So, you know, Isshin shows up, and Ichigo, I guess he gets newfound, he's like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, go talk to his dad. So he goes and leaves. He forgets his Soul Reaper pass, which I'm sure that's going to be something interesting later on. Like maybe after he learns the history of what he needs to learn, maybe he'll go back and he'll get his badge, and it'll be like symbolism, like, I'm ready to fight now. Tells Ichigo that he's aware of everything that's been going on. I guess Urahara contacted him in the world of the living while he was still in Wakamundo. So Isshin pretty much is caught up to speed on everything in the series so far. He's aware of the Zero Division, he's aware of the invasion, he's aware of all that stuff. He's also aware that Ichigo, his Bankai has been broken, and he also even like restates what Mayuri said earlier. They're like, oh yeah, you broke your Bankai, not much you can do. So Ichigo basically gets like kind of mad at this. He's like, Dad, just freaking tell me what's going on, because just tell me. And so Isshin restates something that Ichigo said way back in the Fake Cartoon arc, where whenever he first saw Isshin in his Shinigami form, he's basically just like, it's okay, it's cool, I understand, just tell me whenever you're ready to tell me. And apparently this is the moment. So Isshin lays a huge bombshell on Ichigo. Masaki was a freaking Quincy. Wow, didn't see that coming a mile away, right? So, in fact, I thought it was so obvious by this point that like, we're aware that it's a Quincy. Like, I really think Kubo just thinks that he has to, like, expressly say stuff. Like, back when Ichigo was fighting Juha, and Juha told him, you don't know anything about your mother, right? And he's like, my son, and he has Quincy abilities. Like, that's pretty much stating right the freak there, dude, your mom's a Quincy. I mean, I guess Kubo just needed to restate it out. It's like at the beginning of the arc, when Mayuri was like, oh, all these hollows are being exterminated, it must be them. And then like 7 chapters later, even though we knew the enemy was the Quincy's, Mayuri had this flat out state, it's the Quincy's. Kubo, we have these. We have these. You can drop the hints on us, and we can understand. At most, if you want to confirm it at most, here's what you could have done. Instead of Isshin coming out and saying, your mom was a Quincy, Ichigo could have just grabbed Isshin and be like, he's like, Dad, what's going on? Okay, I have Quincy abilities. I know I was told about Mom. I know Mom is a Quincy. Can you just tell me how all this fits together? Like, that would indirectly confirm what Juha said, but at the same time, it's not like slapping the audience in the face, like, you know, just like flat out telling them. That's kind of like. That's kind of like this, okay, I took an exam once. I took this exam, wasn't really an exam, I took a quiz in biology one day. And, you know, I studied for this quiz, I'm ready to go. I go in there, and I sit down, and I start taking the questions, and, like, people are all like, he's like, I don't understand what's going on, can you give us some help? So, our professor essentially says, yeah, okay, we'll go over it afterwards. I'll let you guys all know what the right answers are. So, the whole point of the quiz was ruined, because it's just like, oh, it doesn't matter how bad I do, because at the end we're going to go over the right answers, and I can just fill in the right answers, turn it in, and we all get 100%. There's no mystery behind, there's no point to it then. There's no real cause to, like, the hints in the first place if they were just going to come out and say, your mom's a Quincy. So, that's how the chapter ends. We have a brief flashback between Isshin and Masaki, who Isshin was back when he was still a captain of the goatee. He's lying on the ground all battered and broken. We're not sure why. Masaki approaches them, and Isshin says, you know, how are you able to defeat that thing? Because I guess Masaki is substantially younger now. I don't even know if this is a schoolgirl outfit. Like, it looks kind of like a schoolgirl outfit. It might be something related to Quincy's, I'm not sure. It might just be her outfit, I'm not sure. So Isshin states to, like, well, how were you able to kill that thing? And he just says thing, you know, like it. It doesn't say hollow, he doesn't say anything. So what beat the shit out of Isshin, being a captain level Shinigami, is yet to be seen, but I'm very interested in that. And if it turns out to be Grand Fisher, then no, because Isshin could have killed that thing flat. But anyway, so she states that her name is Masaki Kurosaki, and she's a Quincy. Damn it, manga reader. Hold on. Okay, fixed it. Wait a second, Isshin's Haori is undone. Okay, what number is it? Oh, I can't see the number yet. Damn it. I'll get to that in a second. But, alright, so Honestly, though, there's something else that came out of this chapter. Not just the fact that Misaki was confirmed to be a Quincy, because we, like I said, we knew that many, many chapters ago. But what really came out of this chapter is pretty much confirming Isshin's lineage, what he has to relate to as in terms of the Shiba family. Because he's lying there unconscious. Misaki approaches him and says, "My name's Misaki Kurosaki." Okay, her name was Misaki Kurosaki, so therefore, whenever, you know, like, there's still a lot about Isshin's past we don't know, and I'm praying for a flashback chapter next chapter, because that would just be so freaking awesome, because it's something that we've been wanting to know for so long. But anyway, so Misaki approaches him, and he's like, "My name's Misaki Kurosaki." Okay, so obviously, whenever Isshin lost his powers, or whenever Isshin went into hiding, and those two got married, Isshin took Misaki's name. Maybe because he just wanted to figure, like, oh, well, you've already been living in the world of the living, I'll just take your name, you know, just to make it more simpler. So that means that while Misaki is meeting Isshin in this panel, that Isshin's last name is unknown. So in this state we're confirming it's pretty much the Shiba, because there's nothing else it could be, essentially. Like, as we've had confirmations on this pretty much by Kukaku that said, you know, like, you're my uncle. Like, not uncle, but it's, like, confirmed that he's related in some way. Kaien's relationship to Ichigo is a huge one. So, yeah, I'm just going to go off the, like, this one confirming that Isshin's last name is, in fact, Shiba. And next chapter, well, maybe we'll get some into that. So next chapter, I hope it's a flashback. If it is, it's probably going to involve something about Isshin being like, well, you're a Quincy. Why would you be helping a Shinigami? And then Misaki's probably going to go into some, like, speech about how, like, she's a very kind individual. So she's probably like, I don't care. You're hurt. I'm obviously going to help you. Because that's just Misaki's character. And all this is eventually, I hope the flashback, whatever we're getting, is eventually has to lead up to, number one, how Isshin lost his powers. Number two, what happened with Misaki's powers, like why, like she obviously did not have her Quincy powers when she fought Grand Fisher, because she would have used them. It just makes sense. I mean, even if, like you might be saying, like, well, maybe she didn't want to use them in front of Ichigo. Yeah, no. Misaki's not going to be like, okay, I could either defeat this thing with Quincy abilities, and so my son can grow up with his mother, or I could die right here, and my son could be, you know, without my guidance. So obviously, if she had the ability to defeat Grand Fisher, she would have. So that's something interesting. Also, is the division that Isshin is part of. Now, a lot of people have been saying he might have been part of the Royal Guard. I don't think he was part of the Royal Guard. What I think happened, because there's two hints on this right now. The first hint was already debunked. The hint was, how come Ichigo's name does not ring any bells in the Soul Society? No one knows the name Kurosaki. That was confirmed in this chapter because that was not his original name. So if his name was like Ichigo Shiba and they took and they took Isshin's name, then that might have been a little bit of relationship there. Byakuya would probably have been like, oh damn, you're related to Kaien. Okay, that might have been, actually that might have made stuff a lot simpler in the rescue arc. That actually might have. But anyway, so that was debunked. The other one was when Shinji first appeared in front of Ichigo way back in the Iranka arc, when he first appeared, and we had Grand Fisher fighting against Isshin. Shinji sensed Isshin's Ryatsu, and Shinji was like, I don't recognize that Ryatsu. So therefore, it was somebody either before Shinji's time or after Shinji's time. It would make more sense to be after Shinji's time because we don't know how long Shinji was part of the goatee, and I just don't think Isshin is that old. So it would make more sense to be after Shinji and all the other visors and Uehara defected from the Soul Society, and after that point. And we also heard in the Turn Back the Pendulum that the captain of the 10th Division died shortly before Turn Back the Pendulum began. So I always figured that Isshin was going to be a member of the 10th Division, just because the slot was open. However, after the Visors defected, as well as Uehara and Yoruichi, there were a bunch of captain slots freaking available. Freaking 2nd seat, 3rd seat, 5th seat, 7th seat was available, 9th seat was available, 10th seat was available, 12th seat was available. That's a crap ton of seats that were left without captains. So it would make it might have not have been the 10th seat. It could have been any one of those. And you know, in between the defection, in between Turn Back the Pendulum and the current present storyline, at some point in there, whatever division he was captain of, Isshin ended up losing his powers somehow, probably through the final Getsuga Tensho, because that's what it was hinted at. And then he got them back again, probably in a similar method to Ichigo did in the Fullbring arc. That must have been my longest post-chapter tirade ever. But that's what I'm going with, guys, okay? Alright, so, that's the end of the chapter then, guys. Huh. So, time's up, huh, Botan?
You still have no idea who I am, do you?
Well, I mean, you're Death, right? Well, Grim Reaper, Charon, Hades, Pluto, I'm sure you have a bunch of names.
You say so.
Well, since the time is up, clearly, and you've become more vocal all of a sudden, why are you doing this? Huh? What did I ever do to merit whatever's going to happen?
Whatever happens next is all on you. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just here to point you in the right direction.
Well, what am I expected to do? Am I expected just to sit back and let fate do its thing and just keel over dead, or am I supposed to fight fate? Am I supposed to go against it? You're not exactly giving me a lot of bones here.
And I hope it'll make more sense to you when the time comes. Next time we meet, maybe you'll be able to remember. Or forget.
Hey there, buddy. Been a while, hasn't it?